Hello, welcome to the webinar number 3 of CultureMoves project. In this webinar we'll explore the demonstration activities of CultureMoves project in the tourism scenario. The objective of this activity is to demonstrate, in operational conditions, how creative reuse of content and dance can promote a lesser-known destination. Tuscany System Foundation, partner of the CultureMoves project, carried out the activities in the tourism domain. Tuscany System Foundation is a non-profit participative foundation created in 2005 by the Tuscany region and the Monte dei Paschi di Siena Bank, with the aim to promote the Tuscan territorial system through integrated multimedia communication tools. Among its goals, Tuscany System Foundation manages the web newspaper in Toscana.it, that aims at the information and communication of the Tuscan excellences, and the official tourism portal of Tuscany region, visit tuscany.com. According to the CultureMoves objectives, as well as the Tuscan regional policies, tourism activities focus on sustainable tourism, by leveraging creative reuse of content and dance to promote one of the lesser-known destinations in Tuscany. The choice fell on the Apuan Riviera, the northern coastal area of Tuscany region comprising the 3 coastal municipalities of Massa Carrara province, Massa, Carrara and Montegnoso. It is a challenging context to work in, due to its peripheral position in the Tuscany region as well as its complex historical, cultural and social stratifications that characterize the strong identity of the territory, fairly different from the classical image of Tuscany which is globally known. The competition of arts and culture regional destinations, such as Florence, Pisa, Lucca, and other seaside destinations is very strong. It makes Apuan Riviera one of the least known and least visited destinations in Tuscany. The main objective of the tourism demonstration activity was to find the best way to combine and to intertwine dance and digital technologies in order to promote the Apuan Riviera, its cultural heritage and its features. To do this, we organized a workshop, the Carrara Lab Day, where local stakeholders from different backgrounds, such as policymakers, creative industries representatives, archive professionals, dance artists, tourism operators, were asked to address some key questions, for instance defining the features that mostly characterize the Apuan Riviera. This workshop, based on co-design and participatory activities, was helpful to define the identity of this destination as well as some inspiring ideas to promote it. If you are interested to further explore the methodology to engage stakeholders and how to organize a lab day, please watch our dedicated webinar, the number 2B. The feedback received during the Carrara Lab Day guided the following activities to achieve the goal. We identified the possibilities of using cultural heritage and dance alongside technologies in order to develop a new tourism product that will help promoting the Apuan Riviera region. This resulted in the creation of the Dance Algorithms video installation that has been later realized by Tuscany System Foundation and shown during the 2019 edition of the international event, Internet Festival. Before starting the work on the video installation itself, it was first necessary to identify the content that could be reused for its preparation. For this reason, Europeana and the CultureMoves project were essential. CultureMoves is a user-oriented project that aims to encourage cost-effective and sustainable solutions of touristic engagement and educational resources by creative content reuse. To do this, the CultureMoves project developed 3 digital tools: the Moves Collect browser extension, the Moves Scrapbook, and the Motion Notes. These tools allow users to easily select and manage content of interest, to build personal collections with Europeana materials, and to enrich them, especially videos, with additional annotations. To know more about the CultureMoves tools, please watch our webinar number 1. Europeana Collections provides access to over 50 million digitized items, books, music, artworks and more, with sophisticated search and filter tools to help you find what you're looking for, including for instance selected works of art from the Rijksmuseum, the British Library and the Louvre. The mission of Europeana is to build on the Euro-rich heritage and make it easier for people to use, whether for work, for learning or just for fun. Europeana was the first content source that we queried for our activities. The above-mentioned Lab Day in Carrara brought up some possible forms of creative reuse. Here you can see some examples of research with the related keywords marble and dances. We invite you to explore this great source of European heritage. Content available for CultureMoves was then extended and integrated by joining two important local archives, the Photographic Archive XAPT of Mazikara Province and the Marmafera Private Railway Archive of the Carrara Municipality, digitized by Archivi del Marmo. The Photographic Archive XAPT is particularly significant for the project purposes because it embraces visual material from the whole province that was used by local tourism boards to promote the territory. The Marmafera Private Railway Archive is also important. It is a historical archive of the ancient train line that was used between 19th and 20th centuries until the 60s in the city of Carrara to transport the marble from the quarries to the port. After defining what to promote, the fundamental step of the tourism demonstration activity was to find the most appealing way to combine creative content reuse, dance and technology to promote the Apuan Riviera destination. Stakeholders' feedback was particularly rich and it widened the spectrum of possible technological solutions. Tuscany System Foundation launched a public call for proposals to collect the best ideas and to recruit a service provider experienced in video installations. As evidence of the importance of involving stakeholders in the design activities, feedback was part of the official documentation of the call. Summarizing the main points of the call. First point. Subject of the call. A video installation based on the three concepts of CultureMoves project: creative reuse of audio-visual material, interaction with dance, scope of tourism promotion for Apuan Riviera area. This service included ideation, realization and technical setup as well as any other activities deemed necessary for the success of the work, such as sound design, technical assistance, etc. Second point. The concept. The concept was around the term synergy that derives from Greek with the meaning of acting together. The CultureMoves project aimed at investigating the virtuous synergy among dance, creative reuse of content, digital technology and the promotion of Apuan Riviera. The concept of synergy was then evaluated from different points of view. Firstly, space synergy, three-dimensional objects and projections should coexist, and possibly interact, with physical objects and above all with the visitors. Secondly, art synergy, the art of dance meets video art. Thirdly, synergy of a territory distinctive features, mixing of landscape and anthropic elements that contribute to build the identity of Apuan Riviera. Finally, synergy of narrative tools, all the content, images, texts and sounds that bring the video installation to life. Third point. Obligations for the supplier. As for content reuse, Europeana content as well as content from the local archives were indicated in the technical specification. As for dance, the video installation must include live performances of different styles and provides a physical scenography that has to deal with the Apuan Riviera, and or providing an immersive scenography in order to stimulate visitors' interaction. As for tourism, specific documentation indicated the distinctive features of Apuan Riviera to be represented, particularly the tourism asset, sea, mountains and marble. Fourth point. The location. The video installation was hosted in Pisa as part of Internet Festival 2019 on October 11th with a twofold aim. Firstly, to highlight the innovation feature of CultureMoves project and its activities in a dedicated context. Indeed, Internet Festival is the largest Italian event dedicated to World Wide Web and digital innovation. It is a multi-location and multi-format event with a strong educational and dissemination vocation where experts, enthusiasts and students meet all together in order to promote and share digital knowledge. Secondly, to promote the project as a whole in a dedicated conference with Italian and international speakers, such as Apulia Region, Europeana Pro, and La Fiera del Spas, dialoguing about dance and tourism practices. Since the early phases we envisaged to settle the video installation in an urban scene, in order to attract potential tourists and general public, and or in lesser-known venues such as disused factories to create the conflict effect with digital technologies as well as to intensify the emotional power of dance performances. For this reason, it was specified that the location would be a place not conventionally dedicated to shows or video installations, such as theaters, museums or similar, but it may also be a place of passage or considered unconventional for video installations, by way of example a center congress, The hull of the city airport. The identified location for the video installation was Manifatore Digital Cinema, the ancient public stables and slaughterhouses in Pisa, now used for film productions. The successful proposal, by Studio RF, was based on generative art, a technique that uses algorithms and artificial intelligence to handle a great amount of content to be recomposed in new artworks and/or interactive displays. These become the interactive set, a sort of digital scenography, of live dance performances. For this reason, the video installation was titled Dance Algorithms. The video installation represented a digital and interactive artwork, a human-computer interaction in which the user experience is not only contemplative, but visitors can also interact with the visual content. About 10,000 digital images were used to create the video installation. Indeed, generative art needs to process a great amount of content in order to work properly. The more content is processed, the more refined is the clusterization, mainly by color. The contents were equally collected from the three archives, approximately 3,300 each, all the digitized items of the Marmafera private marble railway. A selection formed the Provincial Archive of Massa Carrara and from Europena, in the latter case focusing on dance and marble content. The collected images were then analyzed using the TSNE algorithm, T-distributed stochastic neighbor embedding, that group content in data sets based on similar characteristics regarding the structures of the images such as points, borders, colors, typology of subjects, etc. The images elaboration process required at least 2 days. Once analyzed and grouped by using the TSNE algorithm, images have been transformed by a computer vision software into a sort of particles, with which users could directly interact. Here you can see the content generated based on the user's movement and interaction. A sensor camera measures real-time the depth with an infrared sensor. The setup and the technical equipment was conceived as easy to be replicated. It is sufficient to have a wide screen surface for the projection, a sound system, the camera depth and a workstation where housing the TSN algorithm and the computer vision software. But this is only the final part of the video installation. In order to facilitate the understanding as well as to create an immersive setup, the video installation was preceded by some explanatory and interactive panels. As welcome, before entering the room, a brief overview of the generative art design was waiting for visitors and their algorithmic selfies. Entering into the room, visitors could find an immersive exhibition of images from the territory in order to contextualize the Apuan Riviera, with a symbolic passage from physical and printed images to digital ones. The video installation was the final part of this brief path, where visual contents become a digital scenography projected on a screen located behind the performance stage. The setting up was edited as a gradual transition from a realistic level to an abstract one, from the physical and printed content to the digital ones. Thanks to generative art, users and spectators could then interact with the digital contents, modifying with their movements the new compositions and giving life to constant and always new artistic forms. 2 modalities of fruition were envisaged, free, and guided throughout the involvement of professional dancers. During the day the video installation was open to visits, later it was then enlivened by dancers, who participating in the preparatory activities before the beginning of Internet Festival, created dedicated choreography to perform in line with technology and storytelling, blend together to create an emotional and innovative artwork. 3 kinds of scenarios were created, each of them referred to a natural aspect that represents the Apuan Riviera. 1. Sea landscape. 2. Mountain landscape. 3. Marble quarry landscape. They were elaborated specifically to dialogue with 3 different types of live dance. 1. Classical dance. 2. Hip-hop dance. 3. Historical dance. These associations were the results of a creative and artistic elaboration of Studio RF, as well as of the collaboration with the 3 selected artists. The C scenario, composed of generated content with the form of variations of blue bubbles, was associated with classical dance, to convey the fluidity and the elegance of classical moves. Moreover, since the seaside feature is the most representative part of the territory, as the name Apuan Riviera suggests, it was used as the introductory part of the work. The mountain scenario, composed of generated content with the form of white, green, brown, and purple squared blocks, was associated to hip-hop dance to convey this hard-edged and craggy landscape, thanks to the marked moves of a kind of dance that is strictly related to its origin and identity, street art, improvisation, social empowerment, etc. The marble scenario, composed of generated content with the form of variations of yellow splinters, was associated with historical dance to evoke the ancient traditions of marble processing, thanks to the drumming and punctuated moves of this kind of dance. The combination of digital world and historical dance, emphasized also by the artist's costume, was particularly significant to represent the link between the past and the future. For this reason it was adopted as closing part of the work. About the sound design, the concept was to maintain as much as possible an homogeneous track alongside the three performances in order to give the idea of a unique show and territory, instead of three different performances and elements. Clearly, minor adjustments were made to adapt the soundtrack to the three different styles. For instance, the hip-hop part was a bit more rhythmic, and the historical part included sounds of old musical instruments, for example harp and percussions. The dance performances lasted about 10 minutes, in a block to be repeated, subdivided in 30 seconds introductory video with digital contents related to the sea landscape, 3 minutes of generative contents with classical dance, 30 seconds introductory video with digital contents related to the mountain landscape, 3 minutes of generative contents with hip-hop dance, 30 seconds introductory video with digital contents related to the marble quarry landscape, 3 minutes of generative contents with historical dance. Please find the full version of the dance performances on our YouTube channel. What are the results and measurable success of this action? First of all, we demonstrated how content that often sits idle on our hard disks and/or archives can be reused in a very innovative way. The combination of dance and content reuse showed a new form of interaction without losing the emotional power of dance live performances. On the other hand, hosting live performances did not prevent guaranteeing replicability and sustainability of the demonstration activities. Indeed, not only all the material is available on CultureMoves online repository to allow to replicate the video installation, but part of the installation and performances flow into a promotional video of Apuana Riviera, available soon on the official tourism portal aptmasakarara.it. The promotional video is inspired by dance algorithm and it follows the same concept, moving from reality to digital world, highlighting the role of the territory as a natural and historical setting of artworks and experiences, under the communication campaign, Apuana Riviera, Emotion on Stage. Moreover, the activity resulted also in other achievements of no minor importance, such as informing a network of stakeholders about Europeana. As a direct outcome of this, the local archives are exploring how to integrate their content into Europeana through the national aggregator Cultura Italia. Cultura Italia was our guest at Internet Festival and the dedicated conference organized by CultureMoves and can help other interested Italian cultural heritage organizations to make accessible their digital content on Europeana. Hopefully you find this talk inspiring for your activities. Thank you for your attention and check out the other episodes as well. Continue to follow us on our official website culturemoves.eu as well as on our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube,